What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today I'll be doing probably one of my only LEGO Batman movie set reviews on the Scuttler, and the set number for this one is 70908. Recommended ages are 9 through 14, and it has a piece count of 775, while the price point is $79.99, and holy crap, this movie comes out tonight. I feel like it was just last year they announced this. But nope, that was 2014, or maybe it doesn't come out tonight. It might have come out yesterday or the day before that. I don't know when I'm going to post this, but this is also my first 2017 review, and we're kicking off the year of reviews by doing something I always do, and being late, because hey, this set came out in December, but you know what else came out in December? Rogue One, and you know what else happened right after that? Christmas, and then I got the flu, and then New Year's, and then X-Men, and I've had these sets, and like all 15 of the ones LEGO put out, the time was just non-existent, and because of how late it already is now, I figured I would just pick out the best one that I would personally want to get myself, and that's what I did. And we're going to talk about it so that I at least bring the LEGO Batman movie to my channel in some capacity, even if most people don't even care at this point, but that's okay, because this is a cool set. I need to make a video, and so this is a video that we're going to make, and if you want to know my opinions on the other sets that I'm not going to review, they are as follows. Good, who cares, good, no, okay, good, great, fine, great, why, quack, amazing. So there you go. But we're going to review this one, so let's do that. So first up, the man himself, Batman. And Batman in his own film now really doesn't have a whole lot of design changes aside from the obvious new utility belt piece. And just to get these out of the way really quick, he does have a couple of batarangs, and if you're like a superheroes fan and you have been for at least a few years, you probably have at least 30 to 40 of these, so we're just going to get them out of the shot. So batarangs. Anyway, so this figure, basically what LEGO has done for the LEGO Batman movie, and we've known that they did this like since, I don't know, whenever the first teasers came out last year, is they took the standard Batman design and in the black suit that they used for the LEGO movie, and they removed the printed belt and instead opted for an actual piece, which I think is awesome. I mean, it is a little inconsistent looking, like you have the slightly more dull Bat logo and then this really bright and extravagant looking belt, but it's also, it's great for the character because this is totally something he would wear, and I think it's great. It's a great new piece, and I mean, it's got 4 pouches on both sides, and there really isn't a whole lot to say about it, and it drapes over a minifigure's legs really well, and you're going to be seeing it throughout the course of the whole film, and you've already seen it in the trailers. Hell, you might even have one because this set came out a month ago, and you probably got one of the sets by now. Anyway, I think it's a great new piece, and of course, because it is now, the belt is actually over the belt piece, you no longer have it printed onto the torso, but the rest of the design remains intact from the original. So yeah, aside from that, standard Batman cowl, standard cape, and then if we remove the cowl, you can see we do have what I think is a new facial expression. I didn't really pay attention to the rest of the LEGO movie sets that came out a couple of years ago, so I'm not sure if this head is new or not. I'm almost certain that it is new, but you guys let me know down in the comments. So you have the more aggressive facial expression, more determined, and then you have the more surprised and shocked facial expression when, I don't know, when Robin falls off a cliff or something, I don't care. But yeah, new Batman. I think he looks great, and I'm really glad that LEGO made this belt. It's super awesome. Next up, Robin, and this is not the main Robin, of course, in his costume. He's in a super fabulous, sparkly blue jacket with all kinds of silvery dotted patterns printed all throughout the design and onto the arms, and so we can get things like this, but not Avengers A's on Captain America or other things that actually matter on arms. But it's still a really cool design. I'm sure it's in the movie. LEGO had to print it on. I think it looks really cool, and so the hairpiece and the goggles. This overmolded piece is something I have yet to talk about on my channel, and you can see the way they printed on his eyes, you know, magnified by the lenses, and how it's 2 separate pieces molded into one, the hair and the goggles. I think this is really, really cool, especially when you look at the inside and you actually see that like double molding in there. That's so awesome, and I really love the gap from the goggles to the hairpiece so that you can actually, you know, sort of make out his skin tone there. So it's not, it looks like 2 separate pieces, but it's really not, and because that gap really tops that off. And And, you know, I mean, the hairstyle is what it is. It's pretty cool, though. And then the face, which you might have briefly seen there, is pretty nice as well. The eyebrows printed a little high, so it kind of goes over the head crease there, and it kind of makes for some jagged printing, but that's a total nitpick. Who cares? And then the back of the head, he's smiling and super happy, but removing the head, you can see the bow tie is not a new piece as far as I'm aware. It might be, it probably is. You've probably seen this in like Lego Friends or some other line that I don't bother to collect. So it's pretty cool, and it wraps around a minifigure's neck. And aside from that, like I pointed out, you have the light blue jacket and the silvery metallic pattern running throughout it and onto the arms, which again is pretty impressive, even though it may not be the most meaningful design to print onto minifigure arms. But yeah, I mean, Robin's pretty cool. I definitely hope to get his actual costumed version, and it would be great if I can at least get the neck to attach to the damn head properly so that he's not a giraffe, but I guess he's gonna have to be a giraffe today because I'm pretty sure I just put that on upside down, which is exactly what I did. I don't care. We're moving on. Next up, the Joker. This is a really great design. The hairpiece, which you have probably seen before, is a great new mold, and I really like how spiky it is. It's very different in comparison to other Joker minifigures we've had, and that makes him really unique in the film. Of course, he's got the bang gun, and I'm pretty sure the sticker on both sides of this flag piece is not new, and you've probably seen this before, but of course he does have it in the movie because it is kind of iconic to the minifigure. So yeah, then the face design is really nice. I kind of wish that mine wasn't so sloppily printed. That's unfortunately the eyes barely made it onto the head, it seems like, because he's practically Nick Fury, and it's definitely a pretty unfortunate misprint, so that sucks. But if we turn the head around, you can see the other side didn't get it as bad, and it's actually pretty nice looking, that giant jaggedy smile that we see him sporting in the movie, and that looks super, super cool. So yeah, then the rest of the minifigure, the torso is super detailed with the striping like design they have running through it, and then the rest of the detail here, like this little chain running on his leg, and you know, like the thread marks. I think it's really awesome. And then the number one thing the Joker does have is no back printing. That's cool, but also the fact that he has this whole unique like waist cape going on, which is super lengthy, and you can see the way it works is pretty surprising actually, because normally you don't have such a spacious gap with waist capes when they drape over the minifigure's legs. Usually there's at least another bit of fabric running through the middle to separate between the two posts, but it just slides right on just like that, and then you take the two other sides and they go on as well, and that's pretty much how that works. And the easiest way I found to like get the waist cape to cooperate is to like lay him down and then fold the bottom like that way, sort of, kind of, if that makes sense. I don't know, you probably have the minifigure already and figured that out, but yeah, there he is, the Joker. Definitely a really, really great design for the movie. Our fourth figure is easily one of the best DC minifigures I think to have ever been made. This is the new Lego Batman movie variant of Poison Ivy, and my god, look at the design on this figure and everything Lego did here. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. I really don't see how Poison Ivy minifigures can get any better than this. I was super impressed with this figure. You can see Lego made an entirely new hairpiece specifically tailored for her, and of course, you know, all these designs are in the movie, and so you have like the leaves running through this hairpiece. The hairpiece just generally has more volume to it too. You have the flower in the hair there too, which is, I think, is great. I mean, this entire hairpiece is perfect for Poison Ivy, and again, it was made specifically for her, and I think that it is seriously awesome. And so yeah, then the face is really great too. You can see the design work on that looking much better than previous iterations. This version of Poison Ivy just absolutely blows previous versions away. And then there's the back of the head as well, just pretty much not too different of a facial expression. Basically, her mouth is just closed. So there is that. And while we're actually looking here, you can see there's the back of the torso there, basically just the back of her corset that she's wearing. And then the front featuring a lot more detail, and there's a lot more going on in terms of design. It looks really, really great there. And so just to get these out of the way, she does have a couple of vine pieces, so we're just going to remove these to get them out of the shot, but we're going to put the hairpiece back on too, because I don't think we need to look at bald Poison Ivy throughout the rest of this segment. But then the arms are double molded dark green and flesh tone arms. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, this is fantastic. They look really great for the minifigure, and then you even have arm printing on the double molded arms. That is fantastic. I mean, Lego has taken their whole revolution, I guess, if that's a little too strong of a word, of double molding parts, and now they're printing onto them in so many different ways. I think it just looks great, especially on Poison Ivy. So yeah, then if we go ahead and remove the waistcape that she's got going on here, it is definitely pretty cool as well. Very similar in the way it goes on in terms of the kind of like the Joker's, but it's basically just meant to look like a leaf, I guess, sort of like a, you know, plant. And then you also have some leg printing, which is even better. This minifigure has an entirely newly molded hairpiece, double molded arms with arm printing on top of that. A fantastic design. I mean, holy crap, Lego went out of their way with this one, or the designers did, and then Lego kind of had to make the minifigure accurate. I don't know. Either way, the waistcape goes on pretty much as follows. Like I said, pretty similar to the way the Joker's goes on, and it's pretty great, man. Like I said, this is by far the best Poison Ivy we have ever had, if not one of the best DC minifigures we've ever had. This design is fantastic, and I can't wait to see it in the movie, and hopefully Lego will continue to hold themselves to a standard like this, because it's pretty rare that we see a minifigure of this kind of quality with this much going for it. So yeah, I think that's that. Okay, so Commissioner Gordon is another really great minifigure. Not as much going on here, but he does have arm printing, which is great on both of his arms, and the design is exactly the same, which I think is great. I mean, that's a useful set of arms right there, and they look great on the minifigure. And then I should probably talk about the head. So the face is really nice as well. I think the entire design of Commissioner Gordon's face in the movie really works. And then if we go ahead and turn the head around, you can see the alternative facial expression where he's a lot more excited, so that's definitely pretty cool. And you do have a little bit of printing on the sides of the new hairpiece form, which is nice. It's always great to get even more hairpieces, and Gordon gets one here as well. Everybody in this set gets a new hairpiece except Batman, so that's great. And then he has a standard Lego pistol, and aside from that, he's got a really, really decorated torso. He's got a lot going on there, a lot of badges, a lot, I mean, well, I shouldn't say badges, but he has a lot of, you know, awards, a lot of medals, a lot of patches and other things. I mean, this figure is just super decorated, and he looks great, and there really is a lot going on. Just a continuation of the strap you see on the front, on the back there. So yeah, Gordon, there he is. I can't stand how uneven the stand is. I have to fix that so my OCD doesn't die. And finally, Barbara Gordon in a full GCPD tax suit is another fantastic minifigure. I mean, this one also has double molded arms for her sleeves, which I think is great. She's got her own hairpiece as well, which is awesome. And we do see that design and all these designs, of course, in the movie. And so this is taken straight from it, obviously. And yeah, but we're going to go ahead and remove the hairpiece really quick so that you can see not only the face here, but then also the alternative facial expression, which is a lot more aggressive. And I guess just for the hell of it, because you've already seen this side, we'll go ahead and flip it around and put the hairpiece back on. And then you might notice she also does, like, you know, because of the whole GCPD tax suit she's got going on here, you do have the vest. Now, the vest is not new. We've seen it before, but here it is in black, and it does have some, it does have the GCPD text printed on the front, some zippers, a strap with a buckle, and then also the same GCPD logo on the back, just obviously much bigger. And so I think that's great. The vest is awesome, and I think it would be great to have multiple of these if you're trying to, like, sort of make your own GCPD SWAT team, for instance, or something like that. But yeah, then she also does have a pair of printed legs as well, and the detail on those is also awesome. I can't remember if we've seen this leg design before. If I were to guess, I would assume maybe it was introduced for this lineup of sets, and maybe it was used on another minifigure that I can't recall at the moment because I only bought this set. But yeah, there you go. And also, kind of, I thought it was kind of strange that she doesn't come with an accessory, but thankfully you do get an extra pistol with this set, which I'll show later on in the video as well, so you can give her that. But yeah, there you go. Barbara Gordon. Pretty awesome minifigure. Okay, so on to the Scuttler, and again, you've probably already seen it by now, and that's totally cool, and if you haven't, maybe you caught a glimpse of it in some trailers or TV spots or other promotional content Lego's put out for the movie, because this thing definitely looks really cool in the actual movie, and Lego's made a great set out of the Scuttler. I mean, the design is fantastic. All the features Lego has packed into this thing, along with all the additional, like, bits of detail in various different areas. It's just, I mean, that's why I picked this set, was I might have mentioned it already, but not only for the great variety of minifigures, but this build is just awesome and just so cool looking, even when you don't look at the features or all the detail within it. So we'll just start off with the cockpit. The ears on the top are on a couple of basic hinge pieces, and those can bend back and forth, so that's pretty cool. The cockpit opens with just a basic pull on the glass piece, and then you also pull these little like flaps aside, and then inside you can see we have a pretty decent cockpit for Batman. A 2x2 available space, a red analog stick in the form of a red antenna, a couple of yellow, trans yellow jewel pieces, which are, I guess they're supposed to look like lights, even though they still look like gems, but that's cool, I guess. And you also do have a couple of stickers for the control panels, and those look pretty nice as well. A couple decent designs in there. And then we also have his like little screen here, which is on another basic hinge piece that you've seen before. And so yeah, but we can just take Batman, slide him right into that 2x2 space, and then I guess to secure him in even better, you can push that little screen further toward his hand so that he gets locked in place even better than he normally would otherwise. So yeah, then you just close up the cockpit, and then which is really great about what's really great about the flaps is there's actually a stopping point, so you don't have to constantly adjust them. You can just fold them in, and then, like I said, there's a stopping point so they stay fixed in place, and that's really cool. And then also on the sides of the cockpit we do have some stud shooters, which are not as accessible as the ones on the legs, which I'll show you in a second, even though you can already see them. And so I guess we'll use Poison Ivy because she's a bigger target on her giant like vine monster thing that I'll talk about after we talk about the Scuttler. And you just fire the stud shooters. You don't know how stud shooters work. I'm not going to say it again. I mean, you just fire them and things happen, and 80% of the time you're going to miss, so that's pretty cool. But then we have a pile of extra pieces, which is great, so that my lazy ass doesn't have to reach across my studio and I can just reload easily, and that's pretty awesome. So yeah, and then one other thing I want to note before we move away from the cockpit area are these tubes on the front there that connect to the legs, to like from the legs to the main body, and it's really cool because they move with the legs too, which you'll see in a second. I think that's awesome. And yeah, the tubing is just a really great touch to this build. And then also the little lights on these posts behind the cockpit, that's really cool. And if you couldn't tell, by the way, the cockpit is articulated on a basic axle piece, which is really nice, and it's you got quite a bit of variety there in terms of posability for the cockpit, and that's great. So there's a lot to cover with just the cockpit there. And so now the legs and everything else. So the legs have a pretty wide variety of stickers too. You can see this one has, well, I mean, they're pretty much the same, just inverted. You have the Scuttler on this slope here, and it's kind of a pain because black, like stickers, trans clear stickers don't really work that well on straight black pieces. So you have like these little air bubbles that were formed, and sometimes, little like tiny particles of whatever will get stuck under there, and they're much more visible on black pieces, which kind of sucks. But I mean, total nitpicking, I really don't care. And then you have this this sticker here on this 1x8, and then some more stickers on these slopes here. And I love the detail that runs from the top of the leg with these telephone pieces that are supposed to be like lights on the legs, all the way down to these two stud shooters. And again, the stud shooters, you just push down the gray levers, and you know how they fire. And I'm gonna run out of extra pieces to show you at the end of the video by the time I'm done with this segment. But pulling from the extra pieces pile again and reloading, you can see more detail that continues here with the antenna, ventilation, this little rod in the middle. I think that's great. And in terms of articulation on the legs, you have a lot. And I guess I'll also use this leg actually, because I was gonna use this leg, but then I realized you have this on top, which I don't want to mess with, this net, which I'll point out in a minute. But then also one last sticker before I show you the articulation. You have more caution signs up here toward the top, which is really cool. You can kind of see those there. And the stickers are exactly the same on both legs before you post a comment if you haven't seen this already. So yeah, articulation. So, basic, we've seen these joints on like the Star Wars AT-AP for instance, AT-AP for instance. Yeah, and it's a really great piece that LEGO uses for articulation like this on, big solid joints and, ligaments like this. So yeah, and it does actually extend, which is really cool on both legs. And the way that works is by using some basic Technic pieces within the leg. And so you just go ahead and pull at each leg, and they actually do extend quite a bit, which is really awesome. And that's honestly a feature I didn't know this set was going to have until I built it. And then we also have some more articulation for the toes down here, which is great. So you can put the Scuttler in a variety of different poses. You can pose the cockpit in a variety of different ways. And this is just the front of the thing. We haven't even worked our way to the back. So now we have the other feature on the top of the build that I was just about to talk about, and that is the the net launcher, which is pretty much just that, and it works pretty basic. You just shove the net into the slot there, and then again using Poison Ivy as our target, we can just go ahead and push back on this piece which is connected to a Technic axle and try to aim at least a little bit. And you also have to put a little bit of force on the piece so that it actually, you know, gets some decent distance. I can speak, and so yeah, doing that, you can see the net is ineffective probably 95% of the time, but still a really cool feature regardless, even though it would probably get characters killed if this wasn't a Lego film. And so yeah, and aside from that, there really isn't a lot going on the top of the build aside from just a lot more stickers, and those stickers being like the bat symbol with exhaust like right above that upside down, and then some caution symbols on these two slopes. And I should mention those slopes are actually articulated, which is pretty cool. Even more articulation. Lego could have just attached these on by use of any piece ever, but they actually made these ball jointed. I mean, Lego went out of their way with articulation on this thing. I think it's great. And so this freaking net is trying to make its way out of the launcher again. We'll just shove that back in place, and then the back of this thing, holy crap, more stickers. You can see we got a giant sticker on the main cockpit piece, and that says caution, hot contents. And I'm not even going to try to put context to that series of words, but also some more stickers on this black 2x2 tile in front, and then the 2x2 slope on top. So really great detail there. And we also have more exhaust stickers on these slopes right to the sides of the main engine on the back, which is definitely pretty cool. And so before we talk about the back legs, there is a pretty spacious cockpit in here, and you can see we can fit a lot of minifigures. Like we can take Robin, put him right there. We can take Gordon, maybe put him right there. And then even though she really can't attach to any additional studs available in there, you could even put Barbara in there and close it up, and you can seat all three minifigures. So that means you have the entire team of protagonists that are included with this set inside the vehicle, and that is always amazing for Lego sets when you can actually take all the minifigures that would be inside the vehicle and put them all in there. And I think that's awesome, because when you don't have stray minifigures, and obviously you have the Joker and Ivy, but those are villains, right? So I mean, I think it's great that you can put all the protagonists inside here. I think this is awesome, and it's just really great because you have, you know, a lot of space in there that I didn't think this build would have. And I also love this detail here. I mean, that ventilation, that engine, it just looks so great when you open up the cockpit and how it extends down here. It's just, like I said, great design with so many great features packed into this thing. And by the way, there are some more stickers on these sides here you can kind of see, and they're pretty much exactly the same on both sides, but it's just there for some added detail, which I think is also pretty awesome. So there is all of that. And then finally, the back of this thing for the rest of the articulation, the back legs have 2 points of articulation each. Pretty much the exact same pieces used on the front legs are used on the back here, and it's pretty great, man. I mean, like I said, the articulation variety is fantastic, and what I'm showing you here are pretty much all the stopping points for these joints, and so you get a lot of posability out of this thing. You get a lot of features with the Scuttler. You get, you know, the minifigure variety that goes with it, and I mean, aside from maybe like these tubes coming loose when you bend the front legs, that's really a nitpick. There's really nothing wrong with this set. It has everything. I think maybe if we had some more spaces for like their accessories, because you do have like Gordon, like the two pistols and the two batarangs that don't really have a place to go. But Lego makes up for it with this design because you can fit all of the protagonists inside the vehicle. So I think the minifigures themselves being able to, you know, be seated inside are more important than, you know, their accessories. So I think that's great, and Lego has really nailed it with the Scuttler. And then we also do get a couple more things, as you probably already saw with Ivy and Batman, which was not in the shot here, but Batman does have like this giant jetpack thing that he stands on, so we're gonna have to pull him out of the cockpit really quick, and look at how easy that is. It's fantastic, man. And so you just go ahead and stick Batman on these on this 1x2 available space here, and then Batman is successfully on this giant thruster pack thing, and these engines on it, like the thrusters themselves, are actually all on ball joints too, so even more posability and articulation. It's great, and so I think that's awesome. It's pretty basic in terms of design work, but it's very effective and definitely great for playability, like I said. And then also, finally, Poison Ivy's Vine monster thing. I don't even know what this is supposed to be, just some sentient vines, you know, because she's Poison Ivy, and there obviously there's another 2x2 available space, but I used some basic jumper pieces, and so Poison Ivy can just stand on top, which is really great because she fits in seamlessly, obviously, when you give her the other two vines they include for the minifigure. But also, there's a playability feature here, because you can take one of the, you know, you can take Robin or anyone else in the set, and then attach them to the jumper plates, and the vines can wrap around the minifigure, so there's a lot of playability, not just with Poison Ivy to stand on this thing, but to also, you know, encase your minifigure and put your protagonist in peril or whatever. Maybe they'll actually do this in the movie. I don't know, probably not. The vines aren't even staying on to begin with, but you get the idea of how this works, and I think it's pretty cool, man. So, finally, is this set worth 80 bucks, and has it been worth you watching this super long-ass late review? I would say yes, and hopefully. I mean, like I said, I picked up this set because I saw the variety of minifigures. You get Batman, Robin, Barbara, Commissioner Gordon, the Joker, and Ivy. I mean, you have a lot of the key main characters of the film in one set. I think that's fantastic. So, as someone who didn't, you know, even plan on reviewing this set, who just wanted this set for myself, and I also happen to want to just do the review because the movie's coming out today or yesterday or the day before that or tomorrow, or depending on when I get this video up. Actually, it wouldn't be tomorrow. It's going to be sometime in the past. Anyway, this is worth the 80 bucks. I would say so. Would I say 70 is a little safer? Yeah, but I mean, for 80 bucks, like I said, I personally bought this for myself. I swallowed that $80 price point because I think it's a great build, a great set, a great display piece. And again, the variety of minifigures and quality of the minifigures is fantastic. This is awesome. And if you haven't picked it up yet, then totally go for it. If you've seen the Lego Batman movie, if this is the vehicle that really caught your eye, you have a fantastic set here, and I totally recommend it. So, with all that said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the box, instruction manual, and extra pieces, and all that crap, and finally wrap up my first review of 2017. Oh, man. Okay, so the box is pretty basic. The design is fairly simple. They're just in a certain area in Gotham, if I were to guess. Lego Batman movie logo on the top. Love the yellow of these boxes. All the minifigures down there. In the bottom left corner, Lego Batman movie graphic of him on the top right corner. Actual size reference of the man himself sporting it, and all the other minifigures, and actually all the minifigures included in the set. And on the back, all the features that I just went over that this set has to offer, along with that advertisement for Lego.com/Batman movie. And again, another graphic of the minifigures down there in the bottom right corner of the box. So pretty cool, man. Like I said, nice vibrant yellow on these, and just overall make for a really eye-catching design. So yeah, box. Okay, so the instruction manual comes in at about 112 pages, I think, which is pretty good. And you can kind of see that number right there, actually. Yeah, 112 pages in the bottom left corner. And then some of the features that you just saw on the back of the box that I already showed you. Same graphics, and also a few of the sets from the main lineup of Lego Batman movie sets. And I'll definitely be picking up the lowrider for myself, but unfortunately won't be reviewing it. And so, then another advertiser for Lego.com/Batman movie. So yeah, some pretty sweet PNGs of the characters that I wish Lego would release for Photoshop purposes, but they won't. And then also an advertiser for Lego.com/DC Superheroes, and just basically a very generic, graphic of various different renders of figures from 2015 sets, actually. So yeah, aside from that though, that's pretty much it, man. There you go. The extra pieces are actually really fantastic in this set. You might have already seen the extra pistol, but we do get an extra utility belt, which is awesome. I think it's great that Lego included 2 of these with the set, and then you also get a couple of extra batarangs for the man himself, which is awesome. So 3 batarangs in total, and then an extra bow tie for Robin, which is awesome. And aside from that, just a bunch of extra studs, antennas, and then one of these plates. So that's pretty cool. These are always nice to have extra of, even though I won't use it for anything. So yeah, that's pretty much it though for this review, guys. Again, thank you so much for sticking around for the whole thing, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Don't you have other friends who can help? Oh yeah, totally. Wow, that's really far away. I know what to do. Batnet. Yeah, mission accomplished. That was fun. Hey, you made it through the whole video on this month-old set. That is fantastic because it's not always easy to get those takes right, and those separate angles are some of the most time-consuming things I've ever done in my YouTube career, so I appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the review or maybe found it informative, if this has helped you in deciding as to whether or not you do want to pick up this set now that you have probably seen the movie, then let me know by dropping this video a like below and or your opinion down in the comments, you know, all the usual stuff, because you guys are awesome. And aside from that, you can follow me on all the social media networking platforms, so I can sound like an old person when saying that, and links to all three of those, Twitter, Bookface, Instagram, and things, are down in the description below. And there, I'm going to be doing a lot of X-Men in the next month. I have like 10 X-Men figures that I just, or I shouldn't say I just finished, because I didn't finish them, because I still have to finish this guy, and I still have to finish this dude and make his tail. So once I'm done with that, you'll see the showcase, and there are already some pretty cool previews up on the social medias, and that's why I always recommend you check those out, because I will always post those things over there before you see them here, like Ghost Rider and Enchantress, two figures that still may or may never get their own showcase. But then I'm also doing Logan, like right after that. I'm going to do a Logan figure, and that'll be pretty fun. I still have no idea how I'm going to do those claws. I'm going to figure all that out while I also try to figure out 2017. So I'm going to go see the movie if I haven't already seen it. Again, I don't know when this video is going up, like I said at the start of the video, but I'm going to end the video, and thanks for sticking around. I'll see you later. All right, bye-bye. Today I'm doing probably my only, there's a hair that I just got, do you see it? Look at that hair, it just tried to get in my shot. God. Okay, so for this one, as you probably already know, because you've probably seen this set by now, his fabulous outfit that he's got,
Joker, winning is not worth it if you have to kill somebody.
Fine, lose.
Oh, thank God.
White band or something. That is the sound of when your sister takes a shower right in the middle of a take. Yep.